So this project is to improve the acoustics of the shack, to stop reverb. The shack is also a home office, so there is a lot of talking goes on in this room, talking towards this wall, which happens to be the adjoining wall to the neighbour's property. So the idea is to put some sound deadening material on that wall to minimise reverb in the office stroke shack. And what I'm going to use are these 12-inch square tiles. These are wedge shaped, so they're about 2 inches on the thick side. They have good sound deadening properties. I wanted flat tiles, but the station manager decided otherwise. So with this wedge shape, you can have lots of higgledy-piggledy random effects. So that's the idea. So the first thing to do is to clear out the desk space so there's room to access the back wall. So I've got some contact adhesive to attach the tiles to the wall, but I'm not going to attach them directly to the wall. I'm going to put them onto this 3mm hardboard and just screw at 3 points at the top and let it hang. If I attach them to the wall, which you can do, if I ever wanted to remove them, I think the back of the tile would pull off and it would leave a bit of a mess on the wall, so it'd be tricky to redecorate. This hardboard isn't long enough for my full drop, so some of the tile will be attached and some won't be. It'll be hanging. So I'm just going to put maybe 3 screws or maybe 3 nails into the wall just to let it hang. Then I can always move them, or if I'm scraping it off here, at least if there is a bit of a mess left behind, it doesn't matter, the wall will be fine. So just a pointer, with these sloping tiles there is a definite back and top, because that needs to be a right angle. So you could quite easily get caught out if you were attaching them to the wall like that, and then you come to the next one and realise you've got the back on the front, if you see what I mean, with this gap. So just worth remembering which is the back and which is the front before you start spraying glue everywhere. So you can see with these sloping tiles you can go for a uniform up-down pattern like that, or you could go for a more irregular pattern like that, which is what I'm going to try. What I have found though is these tiles aren't perfectly square, so I'm going to have to stretch each tile just a little bit where the different sides are adjoining. So there's a couple of mil short, so that'll just stretch down hopefully with the glue, and I can make that neat without any holes. So holes drilled through the board and then some masking tape run along the top so that part isn't sticky. Here I go gluing the tiles. You feel a bit like Spider-Man spraying out web, and here is the board as well. It's contact adhesive, so both the tile and the board need gluing. So that's the first go with 3. I forgot I didn't need to stick all the back, so hopefully that'll just peel off when it dries. Now to go for the rest. And try not to get any overspray with the glue because it's tricky to get off. So this is the first panel up on the wall. It's gone quite well. It was a bit of a faff, but got there in the end, and you can see I can access the screws. And because it's not that heavy, I haven't even plugged the wall. The screws are just straight in the wall. There's no surfaces behind there. So I've got one more panel to put along there. It's a bit tricky because those monitors are attached to the wall, so I've got to get around the brackets somehow. And then I've got this return to do along this side of the desk, and that's going to be tricky because I've got to allow for these angles, which you wouldn't have to do if I'd have been allowed the flat tiles, but there you go. So, reasonable start so far. Now because of the brackets, I've cut 3 sections of board, so I think this time round it's going to be easier to, well, I say easier, screw the boards on the wall and then with sort of precision spraying of the glue stick the tiles on while the boards are on the wall. Otherwise it's going to be very hard to judge all the overlaps like that and the bracket gaps and everything else. So this might be the tricky bit. So that's the boards up. They're all level, not that it really matters because it's the top edge of the tile we need level. So now to glue. I might mask those parts. I'll see anyway, see how the glue goes on. So as you can see, you can spray the glue quite accurately. So that wasn't too bad actually. And you can mask it off with a bit of paper, just hold a sheet of paper while you're spraying, but that was freehand, that one. So this is the back wall complete. That far bottom corner, which you won't see once the monitors are up, I was always going to be one tile short. So I had a pack of 16 each. It seemed a bit of a waste to buy a whole pack. So that bit you won't see. And I just need to do a square of 9 here with fairly accurate cutting to match those slopes. So that's next. So on this return wall I need to make cuts that mate up with these tiles. So I'm going to have this narrow going into that wide top. So effectively I've mirrored it down here. This is a wide top, right angle bottom. So that's the same as if it was on that wall. And here's narrow coming up to it. So I can now score a line down there. There you can see narrow meets wide. And hopefully that'll give me the right cut. So here's the angled cut. That goes in there nicely. Yeah, they went in okay, so last 6 now. So job done. Just a case of reassembling the shack now. So this is the shack put back together with all the foam in place. It's gone well. It wasn't straightforward, but I think the job was worth it in the end. So I'll do another audio test in the shack. Whether the microphone picks up the difference, I don't know, but I can tell the difference sat here. There's no reverb. It's really different. Vast improvement. This is me speaking normally towards the wall at arm's length in a normal volume voice. So this is me again in the shack with the foam on the wall, arm's length, speaking normal voice. I can tell the difference. There's no reverb. It's a much different audio experience. Really pleased with that. And this is me speaking towards the wall with the phone about a foot away, normal volume voice. Again, this is me a foot away, again speaking normal voice, and it's a significant improvement, I can tell.